All right, Joel. Now, we know Ronda Rousey's special, but what's some of the things that make her so special?
A big thing we're gonna have to keep an eye out for is the fact that her striking's improved so much, but it's only being used now to complement her judo. The thing with judo people is they feel comfortable when they're holding you. When they have hands on you, that's when they're comfortable because you're giving me signals and then I understand where you're moving and whatnot. As soon as we let go, it's a lot more uncomfortable. And what she's done now, because she's been able to focus so much on one thing, really, on one aspect of her game, because the other aspects of her game were so developed, she didn't have to work as much on the judo and the takedowns anymore. She's focused on her boxing. So now she's super comfortable out here, and she's going to use her striking to set up coming in and take you out of balance with 100 different throws. In the last fight, what we saw, it was interesting against Alexis Davis.
Good overhand right by Ronda. And a big throwdown.
So from a striking standpoint, she came with an overhand right. She loves that overhand right. Rocked her opponent. She loves her knees now. You have a dangerous fighter that's now fallen in love with her hands. She came and picked her up with the knee and then came in for the throw. So what's great with this Haraigoshi, it's not a complicated throw. It's actually one of the more basic throws that kids learn in judo. But what's happening is fighters have a choice. They can either move forward, backwards, or sideways. If you move forwards on a judo person, especially what fighters are doing with her, is that's it. They're just grabbing and turning, and they're using that push and using it and turning it into a pull. If you back up from me, how are you gonna win? You can't knock me out. You're gonna have to come forward. You're gonna have to. As soon as you come forward and I come forward, there's going to be that clinch, and that's where she's the most comfortable. So what we've seen is her counter people's wrestling. For example, against Miesha Tate, Miesha tried to take her down with a double leg. When Miesha came in, she simply reversed her energy. She got some kind of pull off the back for stability, grabbed the arm, stepped in, and picked her up with the momentum that she was going. The more you push for that throw, the easier it's going to be to counter the energy.
The harder I drive into you, the easier
it's going to be.
You know, we've talked about one little hole, and we saw it with Liz Carmouche. But Liz Carmouche was able to exploit just one little thing. What is that risk-reward hole in this judo game?
One thing that Ronda hasn't changed is where she's gripping for her big money throw, which we talked about, the Haraigoshi. There's different ways I can do it if I want to make myself a little bit safer. She doesn't seem to care. She's been getting away with it. As Ronda comes in, she's always going behind the head. It can work great. I can drive your head into the ground and get good position on the ground, but there's been some problems. So there's two scenarios that Ronda's found herself in with like a head and arm control when she's hit the ground after Haraigoshi. The one that worked to her advantage, the one where it actually worked amazingly, was in the first round against Alexis Davis, where she took her down with Haraigoshi. Alexis Davis was kind of stunned from the knee, the overhand right. When she got to the ground, she finished her with hard right hands. There was 9 punches before the referee finally stopped the fight, and that was it.
And then Davis tried to take down Eve.
She was so out of it, she was grabbing the referee.
Yeah.
But that's not always going to be the case.
Right.
And the risk with the judo is when I get to here,
like Liz Carmouche.
Liz Carmouche, what's happening from here is it's not that difficult for you to shuck me off and go behind me. And now, this is what we saw in the fight. She got her hooks in.
And Carmouche got her hooks in, and Ronda stood.
That's right. She started to get back up. She started to get up over here.
Followed her up.
She came up. That's it. And now Ronda's got a problem.
Yeah.
She was able to get out of it based on natural ability. She has experience from here, and she's a fighter. But you don't know what's going to happen in the future if she does that again.
And Ronda has fixed that issue by hurting you on the way in, so it's less of a threat, but the threat still exists. Do we think there's any way Kat Zingano's going to catch her with that?
I don't believe Kat Zingano's going to catch her with that. I think Kat Zingano's got her work cut out for her in this fight. It's still, the odds are still in Ronda's favor. And the funny thing is, I don't even know how much judo is going to factor into this fight. Ronda's been able to work so much on just her striking that I know from a fact she's actually dropping guys with elbows and knees in training.
Yeah, I mean, she's just scary and getting scarier. Thanks, Joel. Really appreciate it. Back to you guys.